Check. Hello, there we go. Well, good morning, Salem Kaiser. Oh, come on, good morning. All right, my name is Chelsea Lofsted. I'm an assistant principal and athletic director at McKay High School, and I am honored to have been asked to announce our guest speaker today. But before I do that, I want to give you all a little bit of background on why you're here. So Varsity Brands, parent company of BSN Sports, Varsity Spirit and Herff Jones, is honored to partner with motivational speaker and TV host Kevin Atlas. Kevin Atlas was the first Division I basketball player to play with one arm and has dedicated much of his professional life to impacting the lives of students nationwide as a motivational speaker and as the host of Varsity Brands' Believe in You video series. In partnership with Varsity Brands, Kevin has spoken to over 400 schools nationwide for years through the Believe in You tour. Kevin's message and perspective are truly one of a kind and have reached tens of thousands of students and teachers since the tour began in 2018. Kevin's powerful story stirs up strength and inspires leadership, perseverance, and ultimately action to empower others to make a positive change in their school and community. Now please join me in welcoming Kevin Atlas.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. Look at these beautiful faces. This is going to be a fun day. You guys get out of class, you're welcome. Things we do for you. Endless. I might not be a typical speaker you guys might have at your schools, unless you like giant one-arm guys coming in there. I don't know what you're into. I didn't really like speakers in high school, never really connected to them. I didn't really like my high school experience, thought it was like a 4-year prison sentence. So, this is the deal. I'm gonna be real with you guys and speak to you guys like grown-ups. I think there's plenty of fake people on the planet, choose to be real. And I hope that you guys walk out of here, your whole perspective changes on life. That's my goal. For those of you who don't really have too much context who I am, I was the first D1 pro basketball player to play with a disability. I've traveled to 49 US states, every continent outside of Antarctica, met millions of people from all different walks of life. I've spoken to Facebook, Google, United Nations. They paid me $70,000 for this hour that your schools are getting for free on behalf of Varsity Brands. It took 4 years to put this together, apparently. I just go where they tell me. I'm the face of a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm a multi-millionaire. And I'm not saying that boastfully. I pretty much hacked the matrix and took anything I wanted out of life. Somebody put their foot up my butt when I was your age, and I'm here to do the same. Except I wear a size 17, but don't worry. Night's young, we'll get it up there. This is gonna be an interesting hour. I wanna give you the blueprints to just take anything you want out of this planet. That's why I'm here. That's what we're gonna do. You guys cool if we do that for an hour? Afterward, you wanna take pictures, touch this thing? I don't know what you're into, you sickos. This day's for you. But I'm here because I genuinely care about you guys. But there's a couple elephants in the room that I have to address. If I don't talk about it, you won't listen to anything else I say. So before we get started, we got to knock this out. Physically, I'm self-aware that I'm massively distracting. So let's just talk about it. I was Aaron Rodgers before Aaron Rodgers, getting over a Achilles tear. Classic. Got a peg leg. I'm a full pirate man now. How many guys wondering how tall I am? Yeah, here we go. I'm 6'11". It's crazy, man. This kid's like, dear God, Jesus. It's like, thanks, man. Freak. Like, appreciate it. I'm like Gandalf in the Shire. I just kind of lurk around this world like a giant troll monster. People don't know this, but when you're 6'9", you're legally a giant, which is a real thing. Meaning most doorways are made for 6'8", like the world's made for like not 6'9". It's considered a disability for some reason, but I average like 150 flights. I own 2 companies and then speak and all that stuff. So I do about 150 flights a year. And I don't know why people do this. It's my biggest pet peeve. They sit in front of me on a plane and they recline their seat and crush my kneecaps, and the little stupid heads in front of me. They see how big I am. They know. So I get real weird with it and I just breathe on them heavily like, yeah. So creepy. It works though. During COVID, this happened, 2 different planes, 2 different gentlemen. You had to wear masks on planes, didn't work. I couldn't like breathe or whatever, so I kindly asked them to like not do that, and they refused, which is wild to me. And so I got crazy with it. I have no chill at all. I put my arm over the seat, and I went, ah! Scared the hell out of a couple dudes, traumatized them, but can't knock it if it works. Which brings me to the third thing we got to talk about before we get started, because if I don't talk about this thing, you ain't going to listen to a word I say. You're going to stare at it the whole time, especially this guy. This thing's wild. It's like a bad action figure. It has two movements. It goes like this, and it goes like this. That's all I get for free. Pretty classic. I'm from Cali originally. My family took our first vacation when I was in second grade. Super stoked, hadn't really been anywhere. We went to the big island of Hawaii. And my older brother was teaching me how to boogie board. We weren't that far in the water. I was maybe like 6 years old. And I remember these four surfers in the distance screaming and waving at us. And we thought it was because surfers hate boogie boarders, or they were trying to catch a wave or something. Didn't happen to be the case, unfortunately. They were trying to warn us something was in the water. And my brother got pulled into the water, and he came out, he was okay. I got pulled into the water, and I felt this click, and I came out, and my arm wasn't there anymore. And at first I was in so much shock, I didn't feel like any pain at all, hardly. Me and my brother just looked at this thing like, yo, the hell is this? And then all the pain set in at once, and I just, blood just started going everywhere. Last thing I remember is somebody screaming. And I passed out from blood loss. Woke up at the hospital with bandages around my arm. And my parents are crying and praying over me. And I remember the doctors walking in with some x-rays, saying, really sorry to tell you this. But judging by the bite marks on your arm, it was about a 6.5 foot long bull shark that bit your arm off. And there's no way to recover it. And sorry guys, I don't know, man. I'm a horrible human. Like, I have a real dark sense of humor. Kind of a dick move. None of that happened at all. It's fun for me, though, and that's what matters. I don't care. It's fun. Sorry. I'm not allowed to speak in middle schools anymore. Little kids keep passing out. It was like a liability or something. I know Oregon's a funny state. It's like kind of like a southern state on the West Coast, but in California, they pretty much held you down and got a vaccine, and I went with Johnson & Johnson, the one they gave to the homeless. Wrong choice. It just fell off. That's what really happened. Just kidding. Guys, I got to mess with you a little bit. Imagine speaking to a bunch of high schoolers who don't want to be there. It's like the funnest audience in the world. Classic. I'm going to mess with you a little bit. I'll tell you what happened to my arm, but listen. This is... What? Get over it. Jesus, I got a nub. It's awesome. Guys, I'll tell you what happened to my arm, but what this presentation essentially is, and hear me out, I'm you from the future. I came back and like, seniors, if you could speak to your freshman selves for an hour, what would you say? That's what this presentation is. Here's a couple truths. None of you decided to be born. You were just born. Facts? Facts? Yeah, you were just born. You didn't choose to be. You didn't choose what country you were born into. Facts? You didn't choose what you look like, what you sound like, the family you were born into. You were just born into that family. Facts? You don't even choose who goes to school with you or where do you go to school. You just live around those areas and they just live around you. Facts? Here's a secret that you need to understand and you need to perceive. Until you turn 18 and you graduate high school, you have had no freedom at home, you've had no freedom at school. Not truly. Your lives haven't even started yet. This is a tutorial to a video game. And some of the coolest video games have the toughest mechanic tutorials. That's what this is. Your lives haven't even started yet. The problem is, a lot of you guys are bouncing around, being reactive in life, with your earbuds in, just floating. You're just straight up NPCs. You are. You just zoned out. You have just zoned out and floated through life. You aren't even alive. And I'm here to wake you up because I care about you. Listen, I'm going to teach you a lot today, but this is one thing. You were picked out from your, I think 6 high schools here. I think so, 6 high schools? Yeah. 1 thumbs up, that's all I can do too. I can't even count all the high schools, so I can only count to 5. It's fine. Dark. Jeez. Guys, I want you guys, hey, listen. I've accomplished pretty much what you guys want out of life. I'm good. I'm happy. I don't have a boss. I travel around the world and help people. I do literally whatever I want. I spread love, empathy, and kindness. Those are the three consistent character traits of all my favorite leaders, from Martin Luther King to Buddha to Jesus Christ. I love it, man. And I was a multimillionaire before I was ever truly happy, and when I was your age, I didn't even know what happiness was. This is you from the future giving you the answer key, so I listen, because I ain't here for me. This ain't lucrative. I'm here genuinely because I care about you. Empathy, it's my favorite mastery. I am a professional learner. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a production guy, a businessman, real estate guy, a basketball player. I am a professional learner. I'm going to learn and grow till I die, right? Empathy is by far my favorite mastery. It's a superpower. Being able to put yourself in other people's shoes and feel what they feel. What? I can put my conscience in your face right now. I can see myself, and I love the view. Oh, look, I'm a two-armed girl. Empathy's fun, man. You guys got to learn this. Here's why. Here's why. None of you chose to be born. You are the student athletes. You are the leaders. If you can't be empathetical, you can never truly be a leader. If you can't be empathetical, you will truly never maximize your happiness or your purpose in life. Facts. So, this isn't about me. This presentation is 100% about you. But I want to do a little exercise, because most of you haven't exercised empathy, that muscle in your brain, at this age yet. And we're going to work on that. I want you to put yourself in my shoes. I didn't choose any of this. Feel what I feel. You are me. These were the cards I was dealt. I'm just giving you context. I need 4 minutes for context to this whole presentation. It isn't about me. There's a point to it. I'll get there. Just give me your attention for 4 minutes. Put yourself in my shoes. Feel what I feel. This is what happened to my arm. I was born on Friday the 13th. Classic. I was born on Good Friday. It landed on the same day that year. Supposed to be left-handed. God's got jokes. Thanks, big man. When I was born, I had all these complications. My umbilical cord wrapped around my neck twice. My arm got stuck in between the umbilical cord and my neck. Essentially took my arm off, saved my neck, saved my life, which I think is a blessing in disguise. Blocking shots in the womb, baby. When I came out, I wasn't breathing. Doctors had to revive me a couple times. They didn't know if I was going to survive, if I'd be mentally there. Some of my friends still wonder if I am. But they saved me. If this isn't you, understand that the kids sit next to you, the kids you go to school with, this might be their life. So just hear me out. I was born into an awesome household with 2 loving parents that couldn't get along. When I was 4, my dad came up to me and he said, "Kevin, guess what? You get 2 Christmases now." They got divorced. Bad parenting, man. Real blunt. I'll never forget that conversation. I was like, yes! Horrible parenting. Problem is, I'm from the Silicon Valley, California. If it was its own country, it would be the 7th wealthiest country in the world. Except I'm the poor kid. You watch South Park, I'm Kenny. My parents each worked 2 jobs to support my siblings and I. So in elementary school, I had to get up at 4 a.m. to get ready for school, to go to daycare at 5 a.m. so my parents could commute to work. I got picked up at 7 p.m. from Boys and Girls Club. I had great parents, never saw them. And because of that, I didn't have a home structure at all. Stupidest kid in town. That's what they called me. I was diagnosed with ADHD, dyslexia. I had a speech deficiency. I couldn't say L's or R's till middle school. I couldn't even read till 3rd grade. You guys still play that game Popcorn? You choose on each other to read in class? You do? Game sucks. We played in 2nd grade. Someone called on me to read the book. I was the only kid who couldn't read. I sounded crazy, so everyone started laughing at me. So like a champion, I just threw the book across the room. And then I was so frustrated, I just walked out of class and just hopped the fence and walked home, which is a pretty boss move for a 2nd grader. Problem was, the principal thought I got kidnapped. They had to call the police department. Like, there's a 1-armed kid on the loose, you gotta find him. I was at home chilling, watching Pokemon. Those guys can't cuff me anyways, coppers, am I right? Gloves don't fit. Worked for OJ. I was the worst, man. Stupidest kid in town. I was in anger management, counseling. They threw me in special needs for a minute. They didn't know what to do with me. You guys don't understand or perceive this. Your academics at your schools, because I've been all over the country, 2.0 potheads at your schools, honestly, they might be 4.0 students at most schools across the country. You haven't seen what's out there. You're comparing each other against a small perspective of the pool of kids you go to school with. You have no idea how actually intelligent you are. Physically, again, we're working on empathy. You're putting yourself in my shoes. I didn't choose this. This is absolutely ridiculous. I was 5'10" in 5th grade. I had shaggy red hair back then, too. Looked like Ronald McDonald, man. 1 arm flopping around. It was a lot. We do songs in class like the YMCA. I'm the only one not doing it, and the teacher's bugging out. Like, Kevin, why aren't you doing the YMCA? I'm like, seriously, bro? Does this look like an M to you? Do the hokey pokey next? Shake it all about. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Dark. A lot of awkward times for a one-armed guy. What's your name? Odelia. What is it? Odelia. Your name's Odelia? That's a sick name. My name's Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. That name sucks. Odelia? That doesn't even sound real. Hey, I got a question. You want to play patty cake? What's patty cake? What is patty cake? I've been asking myself that my whole life. Dark. I never won a game of Twister. Empathy's fun. What? You guys are like, this is what's happening right now. Just a little constructive criticism. You guys are all like smiling, but the world's so sensitive, you don't know if you could laugh, and you just look like psychopaths to me. I don't care. I feel like a bad comedian at a dive bar right now. Lighten the hell up, Jesus. God. Physically, I didn't choose this. This is wild. This is wild. Again, you're working on empathy. And to make matters worse, and this isn't about me, it's about you. Just hold on, there's a point to this. My dad sat me, my brother, and sister down. I was in 3rd grade. He sat us down at 5 a.m. before we left the house so we could work, we could daycare. And he explained to us why we were at our mom's house. He had a seizure, and he went to the hospital, and they said that he had cancer all in his body. He didn't know how much longer he was going to live. And my older siblings ran out of the room crying. I just sat there and stared at him because I was like 7, and I didn't know what cancer was. Plus, I was pretty slow in the head. We went over that. But how I perceived it was pretty awesome. I thought your house was a magical place that heals you. You get better. So your house is obviously magical. That's how science works. That's how I perceived it as a little kid. I thought I would raise money for him, right? If there was a quarter underground at a grocery store, it was mine. I'd die for it. I didn't care at all. If you didn't touch it, it was fair game. You'd be an old lady trying to pick it up, I'd straight pummel you. No chill. I did lemonade stands, car washes. I sold candy at school for a profit. I had like this whole business going. I had 2 kids working for mostly $1 bills with rubber bands around it. It was like this fat wad of money. And I hid it in one of my shoes I never wore, so my siblings wouldn't find it and take it. I had the stash spot. My dad was cleaning out me and my brother's room one day. He found it. He was super ticked off. He thought I stole it, or maybe I was a drug dealer. I don't know. But he's like, Kevin, get up here. I was like, what do I do now? And he looked down at me, and he's like, where'd you get this? And I looked up at him, and I said, I was saving it for you so you could come home and get better. And my dad, I've never seen him cry before. I'll never forget his face. 6'9", 330-pound tank. Just absolute Superman, just a beast, a refrigerator. And he starts bawling like a baby, doesn't say a word. He realizes his son is trying to save his lunch money to try to save him from cancer, hit him like a truck. Didn't say a word, got my money, put it in his back pocket, walked out of the room. I was like, bro, that's my money, man. Where are you going? Kick you in the shin. But he quit both his jobs within the next month. My perspective on this is wild. The timing was crazy. He quit both his jobs, came home, started chemo, the treatment for cancer. I thought I succeeded. $240 was enough to raise 3 kids on. I don't know. But I never had to go to daycare again. I didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. I didn't have to go to Boys and Girls Club. Got to hang with him, camping, hiking, fishing with him. Fortunately, in the 5th grade, he didn't beat his battle with cancer. And as a 10-year-old kid, I held his hand in the living room of my house with hospice there taking care of him as he took his last breath. And I blamed myself. I didn't raise the money fast enough, couldn't save him. Oh man, dude, my life sucked. I went back to school, put this mask on, pretending everything was okay on the outside, because I didn't want people to pity me more than they already did. My life sucked. All of which was out of my control. And the world was mean, and I locked myself away, and I felt like I was the only one that felt this heavy weight. And I'm not here to depress you guys by any means. But I said I was going to be real. Because a lot of you are going through it, and you don't even realize. Matter of fact, let's do this. Raise your hand during this presentation. 1, no judgment. I won't stand for it. 2, when you raise your hand, lock your elbow, because I want everyone else to see that you're raising your hand too. There's a purpose to this. Raise your hand if you've ever lost somebody you loved. Fascinating. Raise your hand if one of those people is a sibling or a parent. Look around the room. Sometimes you feel like the only one. You're not. That's the heart of empathy. We're all the same person. Fascinating. If y'all are going through it, we're taking off the mask today. Allow me to be light at the end of the tunnel. If this isn't you, if this isn't your school with every day, what kind of mask they could be wearing? Empathy. You can't truly be a leader without empathizing with others. Facts. I'm not that 10-year-old kid anymore. Hear me out. I'm not being boastful. I'm blessed. I got to give you perspective who's speaking to you. I made it out. I accomplished all my goals. They made a documentary on my life story, starting when I was a sophomore in high school. They filmed me for 7 years. It was like I was a freaking Kardashian or something. Filmed me in the shower too, which is awkward and probably illegal, but the movie was awesome, especially that scene. That was qualified for an Academy Award. It was on Hulu 6 years. Now they're making a motion picture like Blindside Soul Surfer on my life story, which is super humbling. Pretty dope. I created a production company, got a TV show picked up by NBC, creator, producer, host, this guy. We'll be producing it in the spring next year. Be on TV every Saturday morning, 52 weeks a year. I'm pitching 2 other shows with Mark Wahlberg, both of which I created, one of which has all the biggest influencers in the world. Adam Wahid, Hannah Stocking, and on and on. Pretty cool. And I'm not being boastful. This is dope. If you guys think you're stupid, my first A was in 6th grade home ec. I couldn't sew the pillow, man. It looked awful. And the teacher felt so bad. She's like, you get an A. And I'm like, yes! And so I tried to take sign language the next semester, but they kicked me out. It was a whole thing. I thought I was being clever. Yo, I graduated a blue ribbon academic school in high school with a 3.17 GPA. I graduated military academy first in class. I graduated college at a top 50 business school in America in 3 years with no transfer credits, taking 40 credits a year. I graduated as a junior on a D1 athletic scholarship. I made it to the Pen and Sword Honor Society. They take 1 male, 1 female every year. They've never taken a junior. No one in the men's basketball team's ever made that. Stupidest kid in town. High school's twice as hard as college. Hardest part about college is getting in. Couldn't read till I was in 3rd grade. I wrote a book, ADHD, dyslexia. You know how long it takes a guy with 5 fingers to type a book? This thing's only good for the space bar. Calf lock button if you get wild with it. Hachette, the biggest publication company, published my book. Again, I'm not being boastful. I'm blessed. I stand for love, empathy, and kindness. I made a decision that this world's going to be a better place for me being in it, and that's non-negotiable. Go ahead, put a gun to my head. It doesn't change. And I'm completely free of the butterflies and the uncomfort and judgment. No one can judge me. I literally don't feel anything. I am free. And I want that for you. Served as a board member for Special Olympics. Served as a spokesperson for Boys and Girls Club of America. I am the face of Varsity Brands. And today, I want to elevate your guys' school. But my mission with them, literally, is to raise the floor of what it means to go to school in America. Because the suicide, anxiety, depression rates are out of control. And what's your Harvard degree matter if you're not happy? And you deserve to be happy. And I'm sorry if you've never heard that before. And we're going to change that today. And then y'all got to go back to your schools and make an actual difference. I want you to be successful. I want you to be happy. I want you to be real leaders. I want you to have impact. I want you to have purpose. I want you to be alive. I do not want you floating class to class with your earbuds, zoned out every day, floating. Wake up. Are you guys cool if we do that for an hour? Did you just hear your own energy? This isn't like I'm getting paid to be here kind of thing. This is like for you kind of thing. This is one of those things where you guys could just say no and you guys can go on your phones and I could go chill. I'm going to match your energy. How many guys want to be successful in life? How many guys want to be happy in life? Better leaders? How many don't like high school? Be honest. Most of you. Are you guys wanting to do that for an hour? I don't believe that you guys have to go to school every day and dread being there. That is not life. That's not being alive. Okay? So let's get into it. Let's go, baby. Give me a pulse or something. A little energy, please. Ooh, hey, wow! What? Yeah. I never thought of that. What if I said, clap for the one-armed guy or you're canceled? That's crazy. That is insane. I have so much power. I'm going to run for president someday. I expect your votes. You've been doing a lot worse lately. No handouts is my slogan. No more handouts. Ukraine, here's your bullets, here's your bill. Just saying. Can't take my Second Amendment. Can't tell me I don't have the right to bear arms. Anyway, let's get serious for a sec. Just trying to lighten you up. You guys are so stiff, like, geez. All right, let's get into it. When I was born, that's not when my life started. My life started when a coach, a mentor, he was also a teacher, changed my perspective. One of the many things I want to do for you guys by the end of this. If you listen to nothing else, hear this, because I promise you on my life, you'll never maximize your happiness or your potential if you don't own this, and it needs to be practiced. It isn't me just saying magical words and then you guys changing. You have to leave here and act upon it. The only one that can make you successful is you. The only one that makes you happy is you. But you got to show up for yourself. This is what happened. This is how my life changed. This was the first pivot. I went into middle school. My middle school's name was Pleasanton Middle School. It was literally called PMS. Stupid. Dumb name. Our school colors are red, too. They didn't think that through at all. Like, sick joke. And I went in, I was 6'4" in 7th grade. 3'5", 4'4", yeah, just wild. And I never played basketball, ever. My parents threw me in soccer. It was more rational, I guess. Never played organized basketball, but at 6'4", my buddy Cody's like, dude, you can't be that big and not play basketball. So he had me try for the 7th grade team. Even at 6'4", the coach pulled me aside in front of everyone the first day of tryouts, and he explained to me that basketball is a two-arm sport, try something else. And he cut me from the team. I was like, I didn't want to play for PMS anyway, you jerk. Then God closes the door, opens a window kind of thing. I don't know, man. Tough to explain, but this coach in a neighboring city, he ran an AAU program. If you're not familiar with that, travel off-season club team. Imagine San Francisco. Imagine the high schools in San Francisco. Imagine all the MVPs from the big high schools in San Francisco, junior, seniors in high school, stacked on a nationally ranked team. Imagine that. And this coach heard about a one-armed kid couldn't even make a 7th grade basketball team. Whatever was in his heart, he got a hold of my mom and had me come try out. And I walked in that gym, and these guys were 360 dunking for warm-ups. And I literally said, I'm in the wrong place. And the coach was standing next to the door. He said, no, you're not. You must be Kevin. Thanks for coming. And then we started scrimmaging, and everyone started dunking on me. Real mature. They had a dunk competition. Everyone dunked on the one-arm guy. Cool, guys, thanks. And then coach blew his whistle and did something for me I want to do for you. He walked on the court, and he looked me up and down, and he looked at my arm, and he said, Kevin, when you play, why don't you use that arm? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he pointed at this thing. He's like, why don't you use it when you play? I was like, chill, coach. I don't have an arm, right? That's the whole thing. He's like, no, man, that thing's a weapon. This thing, guys, I call it my nub. Everybody wave to the nub. Wave to it. You won't. Just do it. Yes. Today's going to get real weird, starting right now. I need a volunteer. I like this guy's smile, and he kind of looks like Max Crosby. So I'm going to have you come up here. Come up here. Round of applause for him. Oh. Up on stage. What's your name?
Lucas.
Lucas. Cute little fella. Look at this guy. Little mullet. Love it. Lucas, what school you go to?
McNary High School.
McDarren High School?
McNary.
McNary?
Yeah.
Ah. You guys understand the nub. Where you guys' bones separate in the forearm, reconnect at the wrist? Mine were like, no, not going to do that. So these are two bones. They're like little daggers. What's your name again?
Lucas.
Lucas?
Yeah.
You ever been nubbed before?
No, I haven't.
No?
That was the first.
Yeah? You get nervous?
A little bit.
A little bit? Today's going to be a weird day for you, buddy.
Yay.
I won't do it too hard.
Whoa.
How'd that feel?
Not good.
You liked it. This guy. I want you to pull my nub down, bud. I know as Lucas, you probably don't like Star Wars jokes, but all those cats have nubs, I'm telling you. Think about it. It's fast, too. Sharks can't catch me anymore. I squat up in a ball. It's like a propeller. I'm like, I'm out. Thank you, Lucas. I just wanted to nub you. Appreciate you, man. Go sit down. Round of applause for Lucas. You did it. Yes. I feel like this is the one guy in the room that has no problem laughing at all of my dark humor, so I decided to nub you. Thank you. Beautiful smile. Ultimately, what this coach did made me the world's dirtiest basketball player. There's nothing in the rule book against nubbing people because there hadn't been a one-arm player before. I've cracked rib cages and broken noses with this thing. And it's fast, and it's sneaky. A little ninja nub. I post up on the block, I just shank other guys with this friggin' thing. Refs can't see it. Go for the spleen, the liver, Other guys get so ticked off, it hurts so bad all game, they try to throw friggin' punches at me. The ref's like, why are you trying to fight the one-arm guy? What's wrong with you? Yeah. So I'm at this thing, this guy Marquise, right? I'm at this like AAU scrimmage that I had no business being at, and this guy in Antioch, like Santa Cal, whatever, he's coming and he's got a fast break on me. And he doesn't try to dunk on me, he tries to dunk over me. But I don't know how to take a charge. I'm like a 7th grade kid, right? I took coach's advice, but the way it worked out, I nubbed this dude right in the crotch. And he was on the ground, he's crying. He was like, I totally defiled the man. And he's sitting there, and everyone hyped it, and practice stopped. Everyone was laughing and rolling. But Marquise said something I never heard before. He said, Coach, it's not fair. I thought that was the wildest thing. Hear me out. Empathy. I was born dead with one arm in a broken household. Poor kid, richest community on the planet. Was it unfair? Academically, I had no home structure, that I had to watch my dad die. It wasn't unfair that I had to play with basketball with one arm. It was unfair that I got to. My narrative, my perspective sucked. Negative. And I came to that gym with everything I needed to be successful. And here's the point. Put yourself in my shoes. You have insecurities. Kids are mad judgmental, especially at this age. Facts? Yes. Mean. Facts? Yes. ADHD, dyslexia, speech deficiency. I could not talk. I could hide it. I couldn't hide this. Couldn't hide this, man. Imagine if you were me. I didn't lose in a car accident. A shark didn't bite it off. I never had it. Why me? 1, 2, 3 of these things. Why all of them? Sucked. Everything I hated about my crappy life. I go to a grocery store, little kid's like, Mom, why's you got one arm? Mom gets all weird. It's like a constant state of being uncomfortable. Girls were, oh man. Thought I had like leprosy or something. You touch the nub, you get one too. You'll only be so lucky, Luke. Dude, guys weren't any better. I hated looking in mirrors. I hated it. Here's one of the 2 biggest problems with the American youth from my observation bias. And hear me out. You are the most sensitive generation that's ever existed. Facts. Your sensitivity is largely stemmed from insecurity, and your insecurity has grown massively because of the lack of self-love. You don't know how to love yourselves. When you get 98% right on a test, you immediately go to the 2 problems you got wrong. Facts. And then on to the next test. When do you tap yourself on the back for the 98? I'm sick of hearing about social media. This is on you. If you can't look in the mirror and love yourself back, if you can't love you, how the hell is anyone in the world supposed to be able to? Luke, if I walked out from backstage and I was so sensitive about my nub that I stuck in my pocket this whole time, don't look at me! I'm a 2-arm man, I swear! You got a Rolex. This would be the weirdest hour of your life. Probably already is for this guy. I fought this thing around. I love this nub. This thing's awesome. This coach, through basketball, made my greatest weakness my greatest strength. Through basketball, I allowed to embrace it. If he gave me a left arm today, I wouldn't take it. I love this little nubby. Luke loves it too, don't you, pal? Yeah. Dude. There are 7 billion people on the planet, there's one you. You were a Picasso painting. You should never have to apologize for it. You never chose to be born. I pray every single one of you guys can look in the mirror and love yourself right back. You know what I do? You got to train the mind. Michael Phelps taught me this. He suffered from depression, married to Miss Universe, multimillionaire. You guys know who Michael Phelps is? Most decorated Olympian of all time, real life Aquaman. Suicidal. even with all that. What's your Harvard degree matter if you're not happy? Ray Lewis pulled him out of it. And I learned from him. It's fascinating. He gives himself a positive affirmation when he walks through doors. He told me that you will never spend more time with anyone on the planet than you spend with you. And if that little voice in the back of your head, those intrusive thoughts are constantly putting you down, your life's going to suck. You have to train it to be kind. You have to count your small wins. So when he walks through doorways, he gives himself a silent compliment in his head, a positive affirmation. And I thought that was cool. That's a little excessive, but I tried to do it, and I started hitting my head on every damn doorway, let me tell you. This is stupid. I do it when I brush my teeth in the morning. I'm at some hotel, hour away. I woke up this morning and brushed my teeth. I'm like, man, I'm getting sick. I'm losing my voice. I'm tired. I've been on the road for a minute. I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning to get to work at my company so I could have time to be here with you guys and be fully present. And I look in the mirror before I leave that hotel room and say, bro, I am so proud of you. Even on your bad days, when you don't have a lot of energy, you show up, man. Respect. Today's going to be a great day. And then I walk out in the hallway, and that's my narrative. This is what you're doing wrong. Constructive criticism, not telling you how to live, but tough love, still love. You walk TikTok till 3 a.m., coming to school like, y'all raised your hand. Almost every one of you said you hate school. If I asked one of those kids with like Asperger's at your school, like the special needs, they love school. They get to be there. You have to be there. You look at them like they have a disability. I pity you. Facts. You got to control that narrative in your head. When I brush my teeth, small win. This is how the day's going to be. I'm proud of you. When I brush my teeth when I go to bed, Luke, even if it was the worst day, what's one positive thing that happened? And I'm going to vocalize it. And all of a sudden, your brain, it's such a fascinating thing. You become so much happier almost instantly. But if you can't love you, how the heck is anyone supposed to be able to? If you can't have confidence in yourself and learn to love yourself, then how is anyone going to? How are you going to max out confidence? You're all athletes, facts? The one big variable in every sport, confidence. You think you're going to fail, you probably will. How are you supposed to max out confidence? How are you supposed to max out purpose? How are you supposed to be a leader? Who wants to follow that? If you can't believe in you, how is anyone in the world supposed to be able to? So what? You got a nub in your own way. Own it. It ain't a disability. I wouldn't take it on. I love this now. I love it. And it's only weird if you make it weird. I bet if we take time to take pictures after this, a lot of the guys are going to want to touch it. It's weird. But it's not because I didn't make it weird. No one laughs at me. They laugh with me. Do you understand that? Confidence is a huge factor. I went back into 8th grade. Oh, boy. PMS, here I come. Still got the shot blocking record, nubbing all those poor kids. You guys want to be successful? I highly recommend that you practice this. When you brush your teeth, you give yourself affirmations. You start counting small wins. You make that daily. You will train your mind to be happier. Everyone around you will benefit from it. Your life experience, since you have to be here anyway, legally, you have to be in school. You have to do certain things. You will be so much happier. That's what's in your control, not what's out of your control. Buddha, tend to the garden you can touch. Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism. This is what it's about. What's in your control? So, how many of you guys want to be successful in here? Raise your hand. Lock that elbow. I didn't raise my hand once. Dark. It's fine. I don't care at all. Okay, every one of you in here. Awesome. Let's do this. I am going to take a shot here. I know it's like 6 different schools or whatever, but you guys' energy is pretty low. Like a 3, 4 out of 10. Sucks for me. Let's change it. You're supposed to be the student leaders. Let's change it. Raise your hand if you want something out of this world. Girl, green, dream, you want to be successful, whatever. Raise it all the way. So much, so high, cool. You, rise. What's your name?
Ella.
Ella! Round of applause for Ella! Ella! Tell us what you want out of life. What do you want? What's your goal? What's your dream? There's no wrong answers here.
I want to own my own business.
Yes! Ella, let's go! Sit down. She's terrified of me. Raise your hand if you want to be successful. You have a goal or dream. Interesting. A lot harder to lock the elbow now that I'm walking down the aisle, huh? Oh, you don't want anything anymore. Did you just yawn? Am I not entertaining enough for you? Are you not entertained? You, rise! Round of applause! Come up here. What's your name? Isla? Beautiful name. Isla and Ella. Isla, what grade are you in? 9. You're a freshman? Yeah. What sport do you play? Volleyball and softball. Isla? Do you know why? No. Do you know why I had you stand up? No, not because you yawned. Not because you yawned. You know why I have everyone clap for you? Ella, there are 7 billion plus people on this planet. You know what the number one fear is statistically? Public speaking. Good job, Ella. Isla? Isla? You know what the number 2 fear is? It's not heights, snakes, or spiders, surprisingly. You know what the number 2 fear is? Death. So at a funeral, people would rather be in a coffin than give a eulogy. And I asked you guys if you had a goal or dream. 95% of you raised your hand the first time. If you didn't, you're flat out lazy. Your life's going to be tough. Then I called on Ella. And then I asked again. And y'all had a hard time lifting that hand all the way up. Because some of you in here are more fearful about the judgment of your peers than you are passionate about your dreams. And you have no courage. And why I take that offensively is because when leaders, when good men and good women can't find their voice, when leaders are silent, evil prevails, tyrants rise. Historically, that's exactly how the Holocaust happened. History is cyclical, meaning it repeats itself. And you've been conditioned to sit down and shut up since you were in kindergarten. The education system has absolutely failed you. That's no way to cultivate leaders. And you're supposed to be student leaders. And you don't even sit down right now. Ain't got to yawn when I'm done with you. So this is what I'm doing. I'm in the business of elevating leaders. I'm in the business of trying to get you to find your voice. When you do PowerPoint presentations in class, no one listens to each other's presentation. Facts? You're worried about your own. Then that one kid, not you, clearly, very brilliant. That one kid, probably Luke, comes up, forgets it's due, wings the whole presentation. You all listen to that speech, don't you? Isn't that funny? The loudspeakers are going off before they announce me. If you speak things off a piece of paper, no one listens. They go into their phones. Facts? You speak from the heart, they will hear you. They might not agree. Find your voice. Because if you can't do it and you can't find your voice, you were the ones that were selected from your 6 schools to get bussed out and be leaders. You have to find your voice. And I'm challenging you to find the courage to stand up. And I am challenging you guys to celebrate each other and bring actual energy to the table. Come up here, Isla. So, when I have somebody stand up, I have everyone go crazy for him. What does that mean? I'm on a bridge. Imagine I have your dog. If you don't have a dog, you do now. For Isla, so this freshman, this 9th grader who had the courage to raise their hand the second time, flexing on some of you seniors, that she finds the horsepower behind her voice, because she could be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't find your voice, why does it matter? In a world of Stephen A. Smith in America, the louder you are, the more right you are. So I need intelligent people to find their voice. Does that make sense? I'm on a bridge with your dog, and if you don't participate, if you don't scream and stand and change the vibes of this room, I'm going to punch your dog off this bridge. I don't care. I will do it. I have no chill. I'll break my other foot. Bye, little Rex. Ha! On 3, you are all going to show a freshman with some courage a little support and give her energy. And you have one task. Look at their faces, feel the energy. 1, 2, 3, let's go! Let's go! Yeah! What'd you see on their faces? You don't know? I thought you were the... What'd you see? What's she doing? What's she doing? Smiling. If you participated in that and you actually participated in that and you got loud and crazy and stood up and you didn't do it and just sit there and clap. I'm no clapping expert, guys, here, okay? But it's been whack so far. But that was much better. We're getting there. If you actually participated in that, didn't you immediately start to smile and feel happiness? You felt the vibrations of the room. Facts? Yeah. Those of you, and your life ain't gonna change, man. You're too cool for it because you got an ego. Good luck. Good luck. Isla, as loud as you can, I want you to tell us what you want out of this world. And then I want you guys to go crazy for her one last time. What's your goal? What's your dream? Come on. You raised your hand, right? Or were you just showing it off? Yawn at me. I'll show you. Isla, what do you want? What's your goal? What's your dream? A scholarship. Let's go! Yeah! 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 Good job. Sit down. Go sit down, Isla. Wow. Do you guys feel the difference of the energy in this room? Fascinating. So everybody at your school, from the janitor cleaning up the pee, that you guys don't hit the urinal every time, let's be honest. The janitors, the lunch ladies, the bus drivers that drove you here, all the teachers, it doesn't make any sense. Modern inflation is not rational. It's not financially literate to be a teacher or a coach. They still show up because they care about you guys, and you just decided school sucks and you walk in with negative energy every day, and that negative energy is infectious. You know what else is infectious? Your positive energy. And you guys should start cheering each other on and going crazy. What are you afraid of? Being judged? Screw that. Judgment is the cancer of every religion and society and mankind. Prove me wrong. You want to be successful? I'm about to give it to you on a silver platter. Stupidest kid in town. How did I destroy it academically? Didn't start playing basketball until I was going into 8th grade. By my senior year, I was ranked top 50 players in California, the most populated state in the country. I had full scholarships. Cal Poly, St. Mary's, Pepperdine, San Francisco. Notre Dame, UNC, walk-ons. How? Didn't come from 2 pennies. Made it. How? No matter what you want to be, this isn't about me, this isn't about you or you. Whatever you want in life, I'm going to give it to you on a silver platter. You can take anything and pillage the matrix. I'm Captain Hook, you're my pirate army. I want you to be successful, but that's not why I'm here. I'm going to give it to you on a silver platter. Guess what, fellas? Zach Ertz was on my AAU team. He won a Super Bowl for the Eagles. Brandon Crawford was my next door neighbor. He won 3 World Series for the Giants. Stephen Piscotty was on my high school basketball team. I told you the mastery of empathy. This is the mastery of self-discipline. 70% of millionaires don't come from money. Most rappers don't come from money. Hall of Fame athletes don't come generally from money. A lot of you guys in here have a lot of money. I have friends that are still living in mommy and daddy's mansions that I graduated with. I'm doing just fine. The bigger your comfort zone, the bigger disadvantage you're in. If you're broke and you're working a job and you're struggling through it and no one in your family line has ever graduated college and you're like, man, my life is so much harder, guess what? You're so far ahead. You're so far ahead. You're killing it. Keep going. Yeah. You want it? Here it is. But no one can make you successful than you. You better apply it once you walk out this doorway, this gift I'm about to give you. I wanted to be a basketball player. Allow me to use myself as an example. Why did I want to be a basketball player? My life sucked. People were mean. I stepped on a basketball court. People stopped making fun of me and judging me and making me feel like I was a giant monster. They started respecting me when I was on the basketball court. It's like my 3rd favorite sport, but it was the only place in the world I felt like I had purpose. I went into a high school with 3,300 kids as a freshman. I was 6'8". And I wanted to be a baller, and my coach came up to me. Same guy taught me about the nub. He came up to me my freshman year, and this is what he said. He said, Kev, I know you want to go D1. I know you want a scholarship. I know you want to go pro. Guess what, buddy? Never going to happen. I'm like, you're a jerk, coach. I'm a nub. He said, you know why? I talked to your mom. I know what you do when you go home from school every day. You go home from school every day, you eat a snack and watch Netflix. Ooh, I'm a horrible person. And then you come to practice like every other basketball player in the country is not coming to practice and working hard, because every one of them is. And then you go home, shower, eat dinner, procrastinating homework. Most of the time you're on Xbox or YouTube. Sometimes you don't do it. You go to bed. The next day you do the same damn thing. Your routine sucks. Your habits suck. Legends are made behind closed doors. You don't have it. 0.03%, 3 to every 10,000 basketball players for males get a D1 scholarship. No one's ever done that with a disability. You ain't going to be the first kid. You don't got it. And he walked away. You know what I did? I cried. I ain't going to front. I cried. Because I was broke, and this is all I had, so it was easy to humble myself. Statistically speaking, male athletes suffer from a disease mostly, but it might be all of you. It's called an ego. Now, let me explain an ego to you in a way that nobody else ever has. An ego, imagine medieval body armor. Imagine armor. What an ego is armor that you're putting on. Because it's hard to change, and it's hard to grow, and it's hard to get out of your comfort zone. So when someone gives you constructive criticism, you instantly get defensive because you don't want to grow. You're offended. You can't hear them. What you should really be worried about is when your coaches stop caring enough to give you constructive criticism. That means they don't care anymore. That's when you should start to worry. If you drop your ego, like the people in survival mode, because they don't have a comfort zone, this is survival mode. I have to change. I know what I'm from. I'm from nothing. This is all I have. So I cried. I didn't fire back at him. I didn't cuss him out. I approached him the next day and said, Coach, honestly, man, my life sucks. This is all I have. How do I make it happen? And he said, I'm glad you asked how. And how became my favorite word. What's my favorite word? How. Everybody wants something in this planet. I've met millions of people. No one has ever not wanted something, even if it's just to be left alone. How you obtain what you want is? How. Welcome to the 1% Club. It's action. How? He said, Kevin, did you know it took 6 million years, scientists believe, to evolve the human brain, but it takes 21 days for the average person to rewire it? What does that mean? Do you think when you blink, or do you just blink? You just blink. It'd be weird if you walked around. I should probably blink right about now. Do you think when you breathe, or do you just breathe? You just breathe. You guys are all potty trained, I hope. It's a cool function if you think about it. Your mind wakes you up when you have to pee while you're asleep so you can go to the bathroom. That's a pretty cool function. Facts? It takes 21 days to train your mind, like a new potty train. You can rewire it. 21 days for the average human. How many days does it make to make a habit? 21. Hear me out. Kevin, this is what we're going to do. He baited me. He cared too much. He looked at me as an opportunity to coach, a challenge. So he gave me a duffel bag suitcase. He filled it with bricks, and he said, we don't know how to work you out in a weight room, and if you can't seal off other defenders, no one's ever going to feed you the ball in the post. So when you go home from school, go still eat a snack, watch Netflix. That's fine. It's fine. This ain't a New Year's resolution. That doesn't work. But before you go in, take this duffel bag suitcase, put it in your backyard. Lift that bag of bricks, put the straps around your nub, lift it 100 times. As you get stronger, add more bricks. 21 days later, I'm zoned out doing it. Strong, ain't it, Luke? Yeah. Got that nub muscle, baby. 21 days go by. Boom. Think of bricks. A new habit. Every 21 days you add one. Second thing, I didn't watch commercial breaks. Why am I going to start watching commercial breaks? Well, I'm watching TV. Why do I watch commercial breaks? I am poor. I can't afford it. Who are they marketing to? So I did one-arm push-ups beginning to end of commercial breaks. 21 days later, I'm at my buddy's house, Ryan Duffy, watching TV with his parents, or sometime later, and commercials come on. I start doing push-ups. They're like, what are you doing? It's like, sorry. It's like blinking. Every 21 days, I added a habit, which built out a routine. I grew faster than everybody else. I suffered from asthma so terribly bad, I ended up in an ambulance in 8th grade from an asthma attack. Cost my mom $3,000. She couldn't afford a medical bill. Almost had me quit. I couldn't stay out of court for more than 5 minutes. So when I got good at this self-discipline, the mastery of every successful person that's ever existed, I woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning before school every day, which for me was like sleeping in an hour. And I put hard-boiled eggs on the burner, and I went outside. It was 2.1 mile block, and I ran it. And I came back and I ate the eggs and showered and went to school. Luke, 2 miles before school every morning. Does that sound like a lot? It does? Raise your hand if it sounds like a lot. Yeah, you all athletes in here, it's 20 minutes if you're slow. You too tired to wake up in the morning and do that before school? It's 20 minutes if you're slow. That's fine if you're slow. You get faster. You have 20 minutes 72 times a day. The difference between you and Elon Musk when it comes to time is nothing. What you do with it defines you. 20 minutes is a third of your favorite episode on Netflix. But I was running. 2 miles a day, 10 miles a week, 40 miles a month. Did you know you could grow out of asthma? I didn't even need my puffer anymore. My endurance was so good, you ain't taking me off the basketball court. 5 spot is taken. I became so fast, they put me in the Super Bowl edition of Sports Illustrated. Twice as amazing, they titled it, and they called me a gazelle. Could have called me a lion or something cool, but I'll take it. Big men, they couldn't keep up with me. Little guys couldn't guard me anyways, I just nub them. What's your name? Cougar? Love it. You guys have pretty names, but he wins. Cougar. Freshman year, Most Improved Player Award. Sophomore year, Most Improved Player, Defensive Player Award. Junior year, Most Improved Player, Defensive Player, MVP. Senior year, Most Improved Player, Defensive Player, MVP. Which award do you think I cared about the most?
All of them.
No. Most Improved. I grew from freshman to sophomore year because I started to grow my time, right? Control my time. Didn't have time control me. How many days does it make to make a habit? 21. You're listening. What's my favorite word? How. 21 days at a time. That's how. I grew as fast from freshman to sophomore year. Had I from freshman to senior, had I not done this. I was ranked top 50 players in Cali by senior year. I hadn't played basketball for more than 4.5 years. I did that with one arm. Academically, how many days to make a habit? 21. That's how. Financially, how many days to make a habit? 21. Dude, wake the hell up. You are so reactive. Here's test 1, test 2, test 3. You want a scholarship, girl? Isla, what'd you do yesterday to get one? Practice. Like everybody else in this room who wants a scholarship didn't go to practice. Tough love, still love. How many days to make a habit? 21. Fool learns from his own mistake, a wise man learns from others. I look at you as my past. What do you want? Put it on a piece of binder paper. Figure out your hero, Kobe Bryant. What did one thing that he plugged in to make a habit to get better? Towards my weakness. Sign that paper, tape it to the ceiling over your bed. Every day when you go to bed, every morning when you wake up, you'll see it, non-negotiable. You are doing that one thing. It could be 5 minutes. For instance, and hear me out, braces. None of you have ever seen anyone come to school with braces on and come to school the next day without braces on and perfect teeth. I don't care how tight you tighten them. But a little bit of pressure over time makes for a beautiful smile, huh, Cougar? Wish I could say it was the first time I said that. Guys, you want to be successful? How many days to make a habit? 21. There's no tomorrow. Or just keep floating. Good luck. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. But I'm not here for your success as much as I want you to be successful, and I mean that with all my heart. I'm here for your happiness. I'm here because I want you to be leaders. I'm here because you matter more than you can possibly conceive. You are the future of the greatest empire that's ever existed in a time where we need leadership more than ever. And I need to make you into leaders, and you go back to your school and make leaders out of leaders. So, the number one problem with the American youth, from my observation, bias. You have all been manipulated. It ain't your fault, but it's true. Me, myself, and I. My goals, my dreams, my college I go to. iPhone, iPad. You could slow down, you could hear it. I. Want to know something really interesting? The reason that you're not happy, for the most part, or you don't know what happiness with, is because of I. You're living in your head. Depression and anger are past tense emotions. You're reflecting on the past. Some of you guys have one argument that happened 7 years ago in the shower, naked alone. You're living in your head. Depression and anger are past tense. Anxiety, stress, future tense. You're making up problems that haven't happened yet and probably never will. Facts? Facts. They call the present. Why? It's a gift. Everyone live in the present for 2 seconds. Beautiful company, not too hot, not too cold. Nobody's yawning anymore. It's great. This is amazing. The present is almost always dope, but you're living in your head, putting you first. You're zoned out from class to class, living in your head, putting you first. Here's evidence of that. If you're any one of these schools, do I have the varsity football players? I want you guys to rise, and I want everyone to give them a large round of applause. Let's go. Yeah! Keep standing. Keep standing. All right, let's do this. Cougar. Are these your bodyguards? Jeez, bro. They look like me. Cougar, what grade you in? I love football players. It takes a little time, pending. It's okay. The Wi-Fi is it. Hey, Cougar.
Yeah.
Turn around. What grade are you in?
Senior.
What grade are you in? 12. You two turn around as well. Everyone keep standing up. What's your name?
Cameron.
Cameron?
Trent.
Trent. Hey, Cougar, got a question for you. Yeah. Does, I don't know, the whole community show up to your football games for the most part? I mean, like, you guys get a lot of love at your school, right? Yeah. You guys do too? Football gets the most appreciation on campus, let's be honest. Facts? Yeah? You guys like that? Yeah. Cougar, you like that? I love it. You do? Yeah, I love it. Hey, Cougar. Yeah. Hey, can you be a good leader? What's your name again? Cameron? Trent? You guys, can you be honest with me? Yes. Do you guys have like do you have a band at your school? Marching band or band? Yeah. They do? Yeah. Cougar, how many games do they come to? Every game. They come to every game. And you're all seniors, right? Yeah. Be honest with me now. Have you been to a band concert? No. Yeah. Football guys, sit down if you haven't been to a band concert. Of course, Luke is standing. Give a huge round of applause for these guys. I see you. Yeah. Sit down. You sit down. You three, stand back up. Those football players who haven't, stand back up. Ooh, you're all getting nubbed by band, cheerleaders. Your whole entire high school experience. You never thought once to go support them back. Wonder why kids hate high school. Outside of football, men's basketball, volleyball, if your spirit's really good, all of these people here, including Ella and Isla, stop changing your name. They all work their tails off. Imagine empathy. Imagine if you guys were going to be the state champs this year. And you might with these two friggin' guys. Just give them the ball. Everyone. Hey, imagine if you guys were going to win states this year and no one but your parents, if you were lucky enough to have them, showed up for your games. That would suck, wouldn't it? Yeah. How do you think all of them feel all the time? Think you work harder than them? You think you matter more? You say you want to be better leaders, right? You want to change this? If kids are loved at home, they come to school to learn. If they're not loved at home, they come to school to be loved. And the problem with your schools is everybody just cares about themselves, and you put yourselves first. Alone at lunch and shootings. It all trickles down, it's all intertwined. Or, and hear me out, did you know the band, their concerts go on longer than your football season? Did you know that after your season is done, you guys could show up all together as a unit, as a team with jerseys and notepads, and you could go crazy for them? Did you know you could make a tradition as seniors that every year forever going forward, football is supporting band once because they support all your games, and you're going to go to one band concert and go crazy for them? And the new freshmen coming in wouldn't know that your school hasn't been doing that for 1,000 years, like Senior Sunrise. That'd be pretty dope, huh? You guys could create a senior legacy. You want to do that? You think that'd mean a lot to band? You think that's a good idea? You guys want to do that? And I don't mean just Luke, you going. Why didn't you bring your team? Why didn't they go? It ain't about I'm a good leader. It's about my team is showing up as one for someone else. Then you have synergy. And then band? Oh my gosh. And I don't say just sit there and cross your arms. No, you go freaking hype for band. You hug it out with them. You go crazy. Everyone's invited, but football's going to be there. Then you'll feel like a family. You want to start that? Turn around. Tell everybody you're going to start it. And then Cougar, I'm going to let you off the hook on this one. One of the big guys, take over.
The varsity football teams, the football team's all going to go watch the band concert.
Does your school like that idea? You guys like that idea? Do you guys think that would mean a lot to your band? Do you think so? You guys cool with it? Round of applause for band. Sit down. Hey, raise your hand if you're on the girls' soccer team. Oh, hi. What's your name? Skydie. Skydie, I got a question for you. Wouldn't it be cool if you had a whole crowd and community of a football game, like the whole crowd and community of a football game at a single girls' soccer game? No, you wouldn't like anyone showing up like that? This is new for me. Why? Pressure? I don't even know what to say. You like a whole football team crowd coming to one of your soccer games? You would? It would mean a lot if you had that kind of support once. It would? You're smiling. I love it. Got a question for you. Be honest with me. When's the last time you've been to a tennis match? When's the last time you've been to a band concert? So why the hell would anyone show up for you if you ain't showing up for anyone else? That's the problem with your high school. You could get your groups, your teams, and show up. Everyone should get supported once a year. What's your mascot? Titan? Awesome. Titan Day. Everybody has one. Every team has one day. Every club has one day where the whole school should show. Student council should show. So you guys should show. Band is like a tenth of your school. They're like a high school within high school. They should show up. And you guys should all feel supported. And then guess what? People feel like, guess what? This is a culture. You can't control each other's homes lives. None of us can. You're born into it. It might suck. You might have that perspective. But hear me out. You can control what your high school experience is. What's my favorite word? Start showing up for each other. You expect everyone to show up for you, but you don't show up for anybody. And you were picked out of school as the leaders representing your whole entire high school. Why would anyone show up for you if you ain't showing up for them? Get your teams, your group, your cliques. Partner up. ADs, highly recommend you talk to the coaches. You are their bosses. And then you will not have an apathy problem at your school. You want leaders? Leadership is service. That's how you do it as a group. As an individual, do you guys want to change your lives and everybody's lives around you for the better? Yeah. That was weak. Do you guys? Not you. What's your name?
Nyla.
What is it?
Nyla.
Lila?
No,
Nyla? That's a beautiful name, Nyla. I like your little braid thing. Swag Central, look good today. Nyla, what grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior? Sorry if the seniors have never said this to you, Nyla, and this might be uncomfortable because you're crossing your arms, which means you're being defensive because this is outside of your comfort zone. It's okay, I'm not very good at it, but you could do it. I'm not judging. Listen, Nyla, you have a beautiful smile. You don't sound like you're a very loud person, but I can tell by. I want to share something with you, okay? I know you don't know me, but you don't pick your family. You're just born into it. You don't pick who you go to high school with. They're just born around you. So if you ever have a problem, come find me. You're special, and your school's very lucky to have you. You're a ray of sunshine. If you need anything, I got you back. Nyla, why are you cheesing so much, girl? Man, her smile right now. How'd that make you feel? Pretty nervous? It's probably the nub. You know why it made you nervous? When's the last time somebody outside of your comfort zone has ever paid you such a genuine compliment? You remember? So, seniors, food for thought at her school, you've been failing. How many days does it make to make a habit? 21. Yet you walk next to all the kids in class with their earbuds in day to day and you have no idea what kind of mask they're wearing. How many days to make a habit? 21. Or, and hear me out, you can just pay one genuine compliment for somebody outside of your comfort zone every day, underclassmen in particularly, some of which have been flexing on you today and standing up voluntarily, seniors. And then you'll learn to speak outside of your comfort zone. You'll learn to find your voice. You'll learn to be a true leader. You'll spread love. You'll be a positive orb. In a very negative world, you'll be a ray of sunshine. And that's infectious. And 21 days later, it becomes like blinking. The reason you hate high school is because you're putting yourselves first. How many days to make a habit? 21. I would start there. This matters so much to me. Why? 2 kids saved my life my senior year of high school. This is what happened. They changed my whole community. And now my school, it wasn't a bad school, great academic school. We had some suicides, we had cliques, bullying, gossip, judgment. A lot of kids hated being there. Most of them did. And then our school changed. What's my favorite word? Wow. 2 actual leaders did such a small little thing, and it changed my whole school. This is what happened. I was in my English class. And I was sitting in class, Mr. Pockton wasn't looking. I know this is the last story, I'll let you guys go. Hear me out. I got a call on my phone, and it was from 3 numbers. There's no numbers behind it, and my teacher wasn't looking. I was a senior. I picked it up in class. If you have a phone, not encouraging that, but I never even got a sales call from just 3 numbers before, so I was like, hello? And they're like, is this Kevin? I said, yeah. They said, this is the White House. And I hung up on them. Thought it was a prank call. My bad. They called back, and I excused myself to the hallway, and they essentially told me that the President of the United States saw me in the news and was interested in meeting me, and I was a huge inspiration and one of his heroes. And if I'd be interested, as a 17-year-old kid, I was like, yeah, let me check my schedule, pencil him in. That sounds dope. Dude, about 4 or 5 weeks later, I'm sitting in the back of Mr. D. Piola's math class, and 2 dudes with like the earbuds came in, the Secret Service. They're like, Kevin, come with us. It was so sketchy. They straight up kidnapped me. You know what the worst part was? No one even said a word. Like, tell me how you really feel. And they put me in an SUV, and they drove me to San Francisco Airport, where Air Force One touched down. I had to stand there and watch Air Force One touch down, and the President of the United States did that fake little wave thing on the staircase, walk off, take 2 steps off of it, shook my hand. Kevin, it's such an honor to meet you. Very excited about this. You're one of my heroes. You're a huge inspiration. And he chilled with me, talking for 40 minutes. Same kid who couldn't make his 7th grade basketball team because some random dude told him that basketball is a 2-arm sport. Then embraced my nub, changed my habits, changed my routine. 4.5 years later, I'm getting recognized by the most powerful person on the planet for bowing out with 1 arm. You are good enough if you want to be, but if you can't believe that, the world won't either. Highly encourage affirmations and habits. Catch is, I was born on Friday the 13th, and this is what happened. I had a game that night, rivalry game. I had to rush back to it. They got 2 cop cars to escort the SUV through San Francisco traffic. Great way to spend our tax money. And this diva spent so much time with the president that they had to postpone the basketball game. So I walked in, everyone cheered for me, and I ran back, and I got dressed, and I didn't have time to stretch or warm up in the first quarter of the basketball game after, jump ball. I went up to dunk the basketball, and I laid it on my leg wrong, and I broke it. Same day. I was rushed to the emergency room of the hospital where I was watching myself in every national news station meeting the president, because all the camera crew, every news channel. But the problem was I was sitting in a wheelchair with a broken leg. Worst part about a 1-armed guy in a wheelchair, she just kind of spin. Dark, very dark. It's fine. Guys, I broke my left leg. This is now my 2nd injury, basketball injury. But I broke my fibula, right? I couldn't use crutches, too tall for them anyway. They only make them to 6'6". And all those coaches recruiting Captain Hook in his senior year. Take a chance on Captain Hook, maybe. Captain Hook with a peg leg, that's where they draw the line. Too much pirate for anybody. Maybe I could play for the Raiders the way they've been playing. Maybe they'll take me. Burn. Yo, all those coaches withdrew their scholarship offers. Some of them didn't even return my calls. And I was so confident I was going to basketball on a scholarship to college that I didn't even apply to school, nor could I afford it. I feel like that 10-year-old kid again. All I had in my crappy life was basketball. How are you going to meet the president and have it taken away like a sick joke? And then have a documentary camera in your face? Yo, I didn't know how to process this, man. And this is it. This is me taking my mask off. I got the bottle of painkillers Doc gave me, the Vicodin, the whole thing. It took it all at once, enough to kill a horse. I should not be alive today. Every time I take a breath, it's a breath of gratitude. Because I didn't have a life without basketball. Well, 2.5 days later, I woke up dazed and confused. You know what really saved my life? This dude JR and Brett, the seniors in my class, did something on my campus because they were real leaders, and I want you to hear this. What was the first mastery I taught you guys about? Not self-discipline. What was the other one? Empathy. The mastery of every glorious leader on the planet that's ever existed. Empathy. I went to school with this kid, Josh Berger. You put yourself in my shoes, put yourself in his. He has a super rare disease, 16-year-old sophomore. He rides around campus on this little electric cart with his head propped up. His hands at his feet and his grow. His hands at his feet and his head grow. His body doesn't. His hands at his feet and his head are the size of a 16-year-old. His body's the size of a baby. Person with this disease that lived longest before him lived till they were 9 because your organs go faster in your body and you pop. He's 16. He crushed that record. But he rides around on his little cart on his belly. Forget about your scholarship. Forget about basketball, football. Forget about your goals and dreams. Doesn't know if he's going to be alive next year. Doesn't have to go to school, but wants to. Better GPA than me. 100% mentally there, trapped in a baby's body. Conscious his mom has to take him out of class a couple times a day to change his diapers. That would be hell. Would your girlfriend still be girlfriend with you? Boyfriend still be boyfriend with you if you were a baby? Would your friends still be friends with you? Fake. Now, how do we go around, you two giants, Cougar? Imagine if the whole world was our size and you were a baby-sized dude and you rolled around in your cart and the whole world looked down at you and pitied you with their eyes. And you were trapped. How would that feel? Not good. It would be hell. Yeah. And two kids went out of their normal routine. They weren't zoned out with their earbuds in, floating class to class, thinking about themselves. They empathized with them. They walked up to them, two seniors, and they said, how can we involve you more? This must be really hard. And he said, I'll never play sports, that's the hardest part. I love sports. So this is how they got creative, because he couldn't physically play sports. They went to Home Depot, got a wooden stick. They went to Bed Bath & Beyond and got a purple bed sheet, and they spray painted it, and they made him a school flag. It looked sketchy. They did a terrible job. But even though it was a terrible job, they duct taped it to his cart, had the head football coach ask him if he could ride around the field before a football game. And there he goes, Josh with his big stupid-looking flag. You know what happened? Josh is running around with his big flag. Standing ovation from the home crowd. Not only the home crowd, respectfully, the away crowd too. Ever see the movie Game Stands Tall? De La Salle was in our conference. Huge football community. He was on the front page of our local newspapers twice that year. 3,300 kids, all these problems at our school. He became the mascot in a very positive way. He started showing up. It was his way of participating in basketball and volleyball. Wow. Raise your hand if you go to the football games. Keep your hand up if you go to the football games, but you honestly don't like football, but you go anyway. Look behind you. Yeah, humbling, ain't it? They ain't there to look at your butt, Cougar. Maybe they are. I don't know. They go there because it's a sense of community, FOMO, fear of missing out, because of the culture, because of the... Josh was the rock. What happens when you drop a rock in the water? The water ripples. He was the love. He was the kindness. He was the spirit, and that rippled throughout campus. No one looked at him like he was a freak anymore. All they did was build him a flag, and he gave him confidence. The best thing anybody ever did for him. Included him, and he became a leader. People gave him daps in the hallways. Dude, lady killer, 10 horsepower in his little cart. He's like, yo, girls, you want to ride to class? 2 or 3 chicks jump on the back. He zoom away. We couldn't keep up with the fool, bro. That guy killed it. Ray of sunshine at my school, no one knew he was there. 2 kids built him a flag, changed our campus. Basketball season comes around, I break my leg, I try to kill myself. I eventually have to come back to school because I miss so much school. If I don't show up, I can't graduate. So mommy made me go to school. And I'm hobbling with a crutch and a boot in the parking lot, and guess who's waiting for me? Wasn't my teammates, surprisingly, or my friends. Guess who it was? A leader on campus, a new leader, a sophomore. The smallest dude on campus, Josh Berger, waiting for the biggest dude on campus, Kevin Atlas, a senior. And he had a voice, and he drove up to me, and he empathized with me. He looked up at me, and he said, Kevin, I know you can't play basketball anymore. That's tough. I get it, but I got your back, and we're going to get through this together. And that saved my life. What the hell have you done? What flag have you built? Some champions are one off the field. Who have you shown up for but you? No wonder you hate high school. You know, I never, ever would do a PowerPoint if I had the choice to do an essay. You couldn't get 2 words out of me in high school. I wasn't a true leader, but I was a team captain. Now I don't shut up because Josh made me a leader. I've gone to 950 high schools. This is the least lucrative thing I do in all of my businesses. But I can't stop showing up because I've collected over 700 suicide letters from kids that are going to commit suicide like day of when I do these little presentations. Unbelievable. One kid whipped out a couple guns out of his backpack one time and gave them to me and pointed out all the kids in the gym that I saved their lives. You'd think somebody built Josh a flag. What's your legacy of high school? Do you remember freshman year that much or just bits and pieces? Yeah, kind of a blur, isn't it? What do you think senior year is going to be in 10 years if you keep floating? Wake up. If all the rookies of a football team are suicidal, anxious, and depressed, how do you think the team's going to look like in 5 years in the NFL? Not good. The Texans. How do you think this country's going to look in 5 and 10 years? If you don't wake the hell up. You, the leaders, student body follows the athletes. You have more power than you realize, but you ain't even showing up for each other, so why should they? Leaders lead by example. What do you have to be afraid of? Love, empathy, kindness. I don't ever have to apologize because I always mean well. Doesn't mean I'm never wrong, but I never have to worry about judgment. And there's no pressure because I have self-love. Basketball still worked out for me. If you're going through it and you feel this pain, your life hasn't started yet. Go get help. It's fine to feel bad sometimes. But basketball still worked out for me. Life still worked out for me. Man, every time I take a breath, it's a breath of gratitude. I got a smoking, man, my wife. Model for Sports Illustrated. Don't know where to put the ring. We made it work, though. I got a 6-month-old girl. The cutest smile in the world. And they shouldn't be alive either because I shouldn't be alive. Good thing somebody made a flag. I hated high school and I only showed up for me. I never went to a band concert. Be better than me. Because if you ain't going to do it, who's going to? If not you, then who? That's empathy. I genuinely wish you guys the most successful, happy lives. And wherever you're at right now, it might not be your end point with your end people. It hasn't started. I hope you success. I wish you a scholarship. I wish that you guys would find your voices and be leaders. And most importantly, I really, really want you to be maxed out on happiness. But I want you to spread it too. Wake up. You guys got a bus to catch. Thanks for having me. Thank you.